Hey everyone, Southern Sage again. I get asked a lot, what is peak oil? What is peak resource? What is this thing talking about? Is that like when we just run out of oil one day and you show up at the gas station and there's nothing there? Well, no, it's not really. It's this theory about how much effort does it take to extract a resource and how does that change over time and these things. And it sounds really complicated, but really it's just toothpaste. So if you think about getting out a brand new tube of toothpaste, right? It is not hard at all to get toothpaste out of the tube. Like you almost can't stop it from coming out. It's so easy. Well, when resources are first developed, they're like that too. Like when we first started with oil, it literally just bubbled up out of the ground. Like it was right there. It took no energy whatsoever. It was harder to contain it where you needed it to be than it was to get it to come out of the ground. Okay, same thing as the tube of toothpaste. Well, somewhere along about halfway down the tube, right, it starts getting important how you handle it. And I know some of you are squeeze it in the middle people, and you know who you are. And some of you are super anal retentive walk it up from the end people, and you know who you are. And I'm not saying anybody's right. I'm just saying that you know who you are. The point is, coming back to, to oil and resources, is that they have that point too. Somewhere around the time when half of the resource has been extracted, you run out of the easy stuff. So like with oil, we start drilling down in the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. We start doing, wells in the far reaches of Alaska, right? We are going far and away harder. It takes more energy. And so we're getting less of a return, right? We have to put more effort in to get the resource out, just like the toothpaste. And just like toothpaste, when you get to the bottom of that tube, right? When you're like squeezing everything into the cone at the end because you want that last little bit, that is a lot of effort for a very little bit of toothpaste. And there is a point where we all hit where it is too much work to keep getting toothpaste out of that tube, and it's time to get a new tube. With resources, you get that point whenever it takes so much energy to get the next unit of the resource that it's just not worth it. You are not getting enough out to pay yourself back for what you're putting in, right? So every resource has that point. With oil, when we're doing things like hydraulic fracking, right? So we are breaking bedrock to get oil. We're trying to extract oil out of sand from tar sands. Like we are in the pushing it into the cone of the tube point. We are kind of getting down to the last of what we can get out of this resource globally. It's taking so much energy to extract the next bit that it's just almost not worth it. So every resource has this. There's peak graphite, there's peak coal, there's peak natural gas, there's peak everything, peak lithium. All of them have a point where it takes so much energy to get more out that it isn't worth it, or the destructive environmental cost of doing that shouldn't be worth it. Sometimes it still is to us as a society, and that's a different conversation. But that is basically what peak oil or peak resource theory is. It is when did you hit that point in the middle of the tube of toothpaste when you started to have to pay attention. That's it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Thanks.